The house loomed large, a silhouette against the dying light. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared out from the overgrown yard. A shiver ran down my spine. I shouldn't have come here. The old iron gate creaked open with a groan, a rusted protest against my intrusion. Each step up the crumbling path felt heavy, weighed down by a growing sense of dread. What had I been thinking, coming to a place like this alone? The front door hung open, a gaping maw, inviting me in. The air inside was thick with the smell of dampness and decay. It pressed against me, stealing my breath. I hesitated, fear a tightening knot in my stomach. But curiosity, like a cruel puppet master, pulled me forward. The floorboards groaned under my weight, each step a mournful sigh. Cobwebs clung to me, ghostly fingers trying to pull me deeper into the darkness. The shadows seemed to twist and writhe, alive with unseen things. A sudden noise made me jump, a tapping sound coming from upstairs. My heart hammered against my ribs. I strained to listen, holding my breath. The tapping came again, slow and deliberate. Someone or something was watching me. I told myself it was just the wind, a loose shutter banging against the side of the house, but deep down a primal fear whispered a different truth. This house was awake, and it was not happy with my presence. The library was shrouded in dust, the air thick with the smell of decay. Books lay scattered on the floor, their pages brittle with age. A single portrait hung on the far wall, its eyes seeming to follow my every move. The portrait was of a man, his face frozen in a silent scream. Beneath the thick layer of grime, I could just make out the inscription on the ornate frame. Jeremiah Harbinger, 1888. Suddenly, images flashed through my mind. Flashes of violence, of blood, of unimaginable terror. This was no ordinary house. It was a repository of horrors, a place where darkness had taken root and blossomed, and I was trapped inside, a plaything for the restless spirits that called this place home. Panic clawed at my throat. I had to get out, escape the suffocating presence that pressed in on me from all sides. I stumbled back, my foot catching on something on the floor. I looked down to see a child's doll, its porcelain face cracked and stained with what looked like blood. The tapping sound started again, louder this time, closer. It was coming from the room at the end of the hall, a room with a single flickering candle casting grotesque shadows on the walls. I had to know, had to see what lurked in the darkness. I peered into the room, my heart pounding in my chest. The figure turned, its eyes burning with a cold, malevolent light. It was the man from the portrait, his face twisted in a rictus of rage. He lunged at me, his cold, dead fingers reaching for my throat. I screamed and ran, the sound of his laughter echoing behind me. I didn't dare look back. I just kept running, my lungs burning, my legs screaming for respite. I burst through the front door and into the night, the cool air a welcome relief on my sweat-soaked skin. I didn't stop running until I reached the safety of the streetlights, the horrors of Harbinger House fading into distant nightmares. But the image of the man in the portrait, his eyes burning with unholy fire, continued to haunt my dreams. The house on Harbinger Lane had claimed another victim, and I knew with chilling certainty that it would not be long before it claimed another soul.